Man, what's up, everybody? This is Life,
What it do, y'all? It's your boy Swallow.
And I'm local comedian Andrew Boydston.
and this is Just Do the Damn Thing podcast. Man, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Just Do the Damn Thing podcast. I think this is episode 53.
We're on episode 53.
We're on episode 53. Normally, we have a product of the week, but you can still get some of our products. You can go to www.theomgbrand.com, hit music or hit clothing, and just do the damn thing. So, Suelo,
What's up?
what's the topic of the day, man?
Let's do it. All right, guys. We just want to say thank you once again for stopping by for Just Do the Damn Thing, episode 53. I think there's technically, 52 weeks in a year? So we're like over a year doing this, guys. So we really do appreciate it. We appreciate you guys stopping by every week, checking us out, man. And I feel like we're just getting started. We're just going to keep building and keep growing from here. More guests, more great things for you guys. So today's topic, we have a very interesting question. Joe, I'll ask you, where does your self-worth come from?
Self-worth, okay. Before I go into that, I just want to give a shout out to our guest over here. His name is Andrew Boydston. He's a comedian, a really funny guy. So we're going to have a fun topic. So let's get into this. So my self-worth, where does it come from? So for me, I would say the people around me, right?
Okay.
So my family, my friends that I also feel as family, they allowed me to realize how much I'm worth.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Now that's a beautiful thing, to have people in your corner telling you that your life is worth something, because a lot of people don't have that.
Exactly. So I'm very, very, very blessed to say that I do have that in my corner. And some people do have that in their corner, but don't even realize they have it.
Yeah,
in
they
their
don't
corner.
appreciate it.
They don't appreciate it. They don't realize that they can just reach out and just.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that too.
But yes, I'm blessed to realize that I actually have people in my corner that tell me they're in my corner. You know, my dad has always told me I can pretty much do anything I want. He never pushed me to do one specific thing. Because,
Right.
you know, he ran track. Even though I ran track too, he never tried to push his dream onto me to where it's like, no, you run the track.
Right.
Or
Like, you
whatever.
got to do
You
it
gotta
too.
do this. He's like, nah. As soon as I started playing baseball, he allowed me to play baseball. As soon as I said I wanted to play piano, got me piano lessons. When I wanted to
Nice.
play soccer, I played soccer. I played basketball. Pretty much anything I wanted to do, even skateboarding, he was
Yeah,
all
he
for
was
it. He
supportive.
bought me my skateboards
That's
for me.
awesome.
Until I was 16, I got to buy my own.
Yeah.
But that's also a good thing. He taught me,
Yeah,
how
for
to be
sure.
responsible and do it that way. So my dad is one of the biggest things, and my mom as well. While she was here, she passed when I was 16. But all those 16 years, she did the same thing my dad did and more. You know, she's the one that actually went with me to go get my very first skateboard and everything like that. And she always taught me things like, you never know until you ask. You know, follow God, but don't follow men, because men are always going to lead you in the wrong directions. My grandma taught me the same thing. They kind of both did at the same time, which was my mom's mom, which is
It's
why I
like
actually
some Game
have.
of Thrones shit too.
Yeah.
How? Explain.
Follow gods, not follow men.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
No, I'm just saying, like, no,
Yeah.
it sounds like something
Right.
that you'd hear, like,
I
the
see
mother
it.
of Thorns say or
Yeah,
something,
right,
you know, like,
right. It
does kinda
that's
sound like
awesome,
that.
though.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
a really good, strong quote to, like, you know, impart wisdom, I
Honestly.
think.
Yeah, actually, because of that, both my grandma and my mother, my grandma told it to me way more often, so I got it tatted on me saying, lead your own life, follow no man, follow God.
There you
Oh,
go.
okay.
So-
Nice. I didn't know that that's what your tattoo said all these years that I've known you.
Oh yeah, that's
I've
what,
never like
Yeah.
sat there and just read his arm.
yeah, all my tats actually mean something
Yeah.
to me, and it's always because of what somebody instilled into me.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad instilled into me music, right? So
Mm-hmm.
he's a huge music head, and that made me become that. That's why growing up, my favorite group of all time, and still one of my favorite artists, is the Temptations. And so I was a very big oldies fan growing up, because that's what he played. And then
Right.
of course I have my cousin Marcus, who played rock and roll, so AC/DC, Metallica, and all those 70s, 80s rocks groups. Guns N' Roses is one of my favorite of that time. So that came into me as well. So both of them two and my sister got me into the R&B section. of stuff. And then my brother, he actually rapped. So all of them combined is the reason why I got this tattoo.
Oh, there it is.
So this tattoo, I don't know if you can actually see this on the screen, but it's a treble clef, but it's a heart, and it's
Yeah.
pretty much symbolizing that these people planted the seed of music in my heart.
That's awesome.
So,
Yes.
and I draw all my tattoos, so that's the
Oh,
reason
okay.
why they have a lot of meaning to it.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
great.
And then the one on my heart is the one that I got with my mom's name on it. She was my heart and soul, so
Yeah.
I put an actual heart on my chest.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, those are the people that gave me my self-worth. They made me realize that I'm more than I realize.
So that reminds me of the saying that they say. It's so true. I believe the saying, it takes a village. You know, it takes a
Exactly.
village of elders and people around the child to help rear the child, to help raise them, and you know, to let them
And
grow
it's
to
not
their
even
potential.
it's not even just that. It takes a village to grow. Period. As all the
Yeah,
individuals
exactly. And that's
are
and
like
that's what it
every-
implies,
'cause
that
it's
everybody's working together as a
but-
village.
And then you have, because you know, growing up, I was capable of. If my mom and dad were busy, I had a lot of people that I could just go to because
Yeah.
there's always someone around. You know, I have my next door neighbor, Chad and his family, and then my other next door neighbor, Cameron, where I could just go over there. And then across the street, I had Derek and Daniel. His dad was like my second dad, where, you know, luckily he told me he loved me right before he passed. 'Cause
Oh,
their
wow.
dad passed. And it was like 2 weeks before he passed, he told me he loved me, and I was saying I love him back and everything like that. And, you know, he brought me to a lot of baseball games and random stuff like that.
Oh,
So
okay.
that was my village. Like,
Exactly.
everybody was working together, making sure all the kids were good, making sure everybody else was good. Anybody
Yeah.
came into the neighborhood, we would notify people if things were
Yeah.
going wrong. That's how I always thought
That's how the community should be. Yeah,
Yeah.
for
Because
sure.
we can't build nothing alone.
No, and you have to be able to trust your neighbors. You have to be able to work together. Like it only makes sense, right? Like, why would you be warring with your own neighbor? Like you
I'm
know,
like, you got to see you every day.
there's danger right on the other side of the fence. Like that doesn't make sense.
I hear where you're coming from, but they cut me off on the way to In-N-Out on Panama, so
That's where you drew the line.
Man, they got to
too
get
much.
the hell out the way.
Too much.
No, but Joe, so then like we mentioned earlier, some people do have that in their corner, right? So you said that that's where your self-worth comes from, right? So how am I trying to word this? Like, what made you realize that those people were helping you, and actually you took in what they were trying to give you?
When I started using what they gave me.
Okay.
So, like, experience gains wisdom. And
For
so
sure.
when they gave me knowledge, I went and applied that knowledge, and it made me realize why they were telling me about these things.
Right.
And then I started, you know, doing stuff all the time and being myself. Always, like, I wouldn't, even when I was in school, it's not like I dressed like everybody else. I had my own, like, random style. I had this shirt that looked crazy compared to everybody else, and like nobody cared.
Yeah.
So, and it was just because I had they instilled the confidence in myself that I don't give a damn what you say about me.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I know I
That's
look
amazing.
great.
Yeah.
And,
That is a great thing to
And
have.
then I started to realize that like having that confidence, they told me that that's what happened. Like, if I had the confidence in myself,
Oh, okay. I
other
see what you're
people
saying.
around me
Uh-huh.
will realize that I do. So there's nothing that they could say to bully me or anything,
Right,
because
right.
it did nothing for them.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, okay,
Yeah, exactly. 'Cause they didn't get a reaction out of you, and that's amazing. Like
only one person got a reaction out of me. One
was
person.
it a fight?
Well, it was almost a fight. It was because somebody on a bus was talking about me. I didn't care about them talking about me, but it was at this time my mom was passing, right?
Uh-huh.
So he said something about my mom,
Okay.
Oh yeah.
and I was like, that's when I got on my character. So a lot of people didn't know I did like martial arts for a long time.
Right.
So,
Right.
Someone learned that day that you did martial arts.
Well, he didn't even want the smoke to begin with, because as soon as I got up and confronted him in my stance or whatever and told him to get the hell off the bus, I'm about to whoop your ass,
Yeah.
he just like froze.
Yeah. Most
like,
bullies don't want to fight. They just want to pick on you. And then once you push back, they're like,
Oh, this guy's for real.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
yeah, it's like I'm quiet, but that don't mean I can't get up and slap you around if I need
Yeah.
to.
Honestly.
Me
dude.
and my cousin Michael, as you know.
Yeah.
way. So,
Absolutely. And Michael would slap him around.
yeah. Like,
Okay, so I'll go ahead and answer the question. Where does my self-worth come from? So that's beautiful what you were saying, like the family, people around you instilled the self-worth in me, I mean, in yourself, but I can't say that I had the same experience, which is what I was going to say. I feel like the Mexican culture is much different than how you explain your culture growing up, and I'm sure it's probably different from your culture growing up, because the Mexican culture, it's not about you can grow up to be whatever you want. It's not about have the confidence to you and don't care what other people think. No, Mexicans love to gossip. They love to talk about each other behind each other's back and smile in your face. I'm sorry, this is just the culture that I grew up in. And two,
Black people do the same thing. Like,
and two, it's not about.
Yeah, white people never ever exchange drama.
Well, in Spanish, in Mexican culture, we call it chisme. Like it's there's gossip and there's chisme. It takes it to another level. But and you know, my parents never told me I could grow up to be whatever I want. My parents never instilled any. You know, in the Mexican culture, it's you are gonna work hard and possibly go get a career somewhere and make a lot of money and buy a house, start a family, provide. That's it. You die. That's that. You know, so they never taught you self-worth. They never taught you pursue your dreams, pursue your goals, anything like that, right? So it wasn't until I got older then I really found where my self-worth comes from, and that's in my purpose. I feel like doing this here is my purpose. Trying to spread these messages of love and positivity and gratitude out to the people. That's my purpose.
you know, that's funny that you said that because you're being what my family was being to me.
How? Oh,
Because you're spreading messages of
Right,
love,
okay, I see what you're
self-worth,
saying.
and anybody that hears it may get something from you.
Exactly.
Right? So you may be instilling self-worth into somebody else because you have your own self-worth and that's what you believe to spread out.
yes.
And just because you didn't get it from your family,
Uh-huh.
you got it somehow.
You just explained that beautifully, right? Yeah, because that's exactly what it is, right? I found that self-worth finally. You know what I mean? It wasn't until I was an adult in my 20s till I finally found out that, hey, I want to rap. Like, I want to actually do this. Like, I stopped caring what people, you know, I didn't do it before because I cared too much what people thought about me. Like, yo, he's whack, he's a poser, he's this, he's that. I was like, I don't care. I feel like something was burning in me that was saying, this is what I have to do. You know, so then I started doing that and then just started building. We got the podcast, I got music, I got, you know, social media, videos, things that I post up, just trying to spread messages of positivity, love, gratitude, God. I'm a big spiritual person. I'm not sure if you know, so I might refer to God a lot in this episode.
Okay.
But you know, that's where my self-worth comes from, and I appreciate that you can acknowledge that because that's what my goal is. My goal is to instill that self-worth into somebody else so they can look inside and they don't have to go through the hardships that I went through just to find myself, you know? So that's
Because
beautiful that your parents were helping you at a young age.
Exactly. But I also realized my family was an anomaly.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't because you said I don't know about the black
Right,
culture,
with the
but
cultures and
every
stuff.
other family I know in the black culture is exactly the same what you just explained.
Okay.
But it's just that my family was built on
Uh-huh.
the foundation of family. Like we
Yes.
have a strong knit thing. But it's not like there's not people in my family who are like, what the hell are you talking about?
Right, like, stop
There,
it.
you know, there are people like that in my family, but the ones that understand each other, we understand.
Right.
So we try to hold each other close because you only get one.
That's it, right?
And so but then I realized like, even my wife, her family is all spread apart. Like she doesn't really have that many people to like I do to do stuff with, and a lot of people that I know are the same way.
Right, right.
So I'm glad that other people that don't have exactly what I have are capable of still finding self-worth because that gives you that inner peace
Exactly.
that you need.
Yeah, yeah. So I feel like we all have a purpose. I said this on many episodes. You know, I feel like we all have a purpose, and I'm grateful to have found that, and that's where my self-worth comes from, and that's what pushes me every day. You know, to keep going, to keep, you know, just keep on keeping on, being a good person, and trying to spread love and make the world a better place. That's where my self-worth comes from, and trying to make the world a better place, trying to make my life better for my family and those around me. And like we talked about with the community, building up our communities, helping each other. If we, you know,
The first thing we always need to do is build our tribe first.
yes, build your tribe first. I mean, if everybody's building their own tribe and it's all built on love and compassion, we all come together and it just all grows, you know, and eventually makes the world a better place to live. So that's where my self-worth comes from. I had this vision you know, that sometime, hopefully in the future, you know, we can get rid of violence and murder and things like that. We can live in harmony with each other, with nature, with God. So that's where my self-worth comes from. I know it's kind of like a really deep, you know, answer, but that's what pushes me every single day.
So what about you, Andrew?
Yeah, well, as a comedian, I have no self-worth.
Or self-esteem.
That is, no, I know it's, oh, did things cut out?
Yes, we can cut this off. Is it still recording or is it just the TV?
Is it still recording? Oh, okay. Anyway, yeah, so the whole thing, like, for me, like, my self-worth has been fostered from a very young age. Like, I did, like, being in Taft, it's like a small town, but everybody knows everybody, and it's like, sure, there's, you know, jocks and emo kids, and then there was, like, the preps and stuff like that, but everybody, like, still knew each other, because we all grew up together.
Right.
So it didn't make it, like, you know, so impersonal, I guess, like whenever you did make fun of somebody or mess around. And so, you know, I did get bullied. I didn't know I was getting bullied. It was really just like me kind of ignoring it. And the whole reason that I ignored it up until I couldn't anymore was because my mom like fostered like, you know, everybody's having a bad day sometimes, you know, like the world could be having a bad day and it's not on you. It's, you know, someone else. Like you got to try and remember that they're the ones that can't process their emotions.
They're the ones that are suffering.
You can always stop and pull back from it and then kind of like gain that perspective. So I was really, really fortunate to have that nurtured in me.
Yeah.
As much as my dad, you know, growing up in his life, resorted to violence in certain moments like that. He never really nurtured that side of things. He wanted me to be more level-headed and everything else, and you know, not just chucking my fists around.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, like as far as self-worth goes, like my mom taught me at a very young age, anybody who makes fun of you, they're having a bad day, they're insecure, they're never going to tell you about it. But the biggest thing is make fun of yourself better than they can of you, because you have the playbook.
So you did the 8 Mile thing.
So yeah, it just literally, you know, it's like whenever you tell someone to lean in, like whenever they're doing a joke or something, you're like, oh, I'm afraid someone's gonna get touchy about it. It's like lean in, just lean into it, because if you don't have confidence behind what you're saying, then you come across sounding like, you know, I'm nervous because I believe this.
Right.
And you don't want to be that, you know, like even if you don't believe it, like that's just how some people can feel. But yeah, like for me, you know, self-worth is something that you kind of foster like through a bunch of different mediums. I think we all had really good points as far as you doing it through family, having a good support system, you having someone who really just kind of told you like keep your head down and keep working, and then finding it through purpose. Like for me, you know, my self-worth is identified by you know, just going through life and not being someone that impedes other people's goals or ambitions, you know, like unless it's like evil, obviously. Like,
then somebody's murdering somebody. Yeah,
sorry, I'm gonna politely step in the middle of this horrible opinion that you have at that point. But like for the most part, it's you know, we're all on this team together, like whether we know it or not, and you just gotta kind of like be able to take it back from that person that cuts you off on your way to In-N-Out. You got to be able to just have that self-esteem, you know? Like, what is it saying about me that I want to externalize pain on someone, you know? So that's kind of like where I come from on the whole self-worth thing. Like,
that's awesome.
Whenever you can just step away and you have that ability to be like, everybody gets one, like, you know?
It's so funny that he's saying that, because I'm about to say this on every episode, because for some reason it comes to this again.
What?
The responsibility thing.
Oh, the ability. Yeah, so responsibility is the ability to respond. And that's what your mom taught you, it seems like. She taught you how to respond.
And my dad, too.
Okay,
like, I don't want, you know, I don't want to start an argument. Don't want to start a tribal argument, you know? The chieftain of emotion.
My mom did the most. But my dad did some. He was there.
But yeah, for me, like whenever I do stand up and also in my other job of teaching, like the biggest thing is like I am there for like the entertaining of others.
Yes.
Like it's never like, yeah, I came up with something funny, but I want to know how funny that is to see how much joy it spreads, or you know how hard it crushes a room. Like whenever I get that joke to that point, and I'm just like, these people forgot every horrible thing that's happened to them today. Like that's just like level it. Like that, if you get down to a deep philosophical root in what I do it for, like I got into comedy because I lost my cousin in a car accident in college, and I didn't know how to respond. I sat there for 2 weeks completely depressed. We laid her in the ground in Taft, and then I went back to Fresno. And the next day I was like, I'm going to go back to school and stuff, but I still don't know what I'm doing. Like, what am I doing with my life? And then I had a dream where I got to talk to her one last time. Really grateful for that. Thank you, Shay, for just doing that, little message or whatever, because it's brought me to here. So
that whole angel thing that you did.
Yeah, like I said, we were talking about like what's a comedian, what's a comic, and it's all, people will claim that they are a comedian as soon as they do like 1 or 2 open mics. Open mics. Like they do the rough drafts. It's in front of like 20 friends that wanted to come out or coworkers. Like he's a cut up in the office. But the whole thing that it all boils down to, like for me, is purpose. And I love knowing that I can travel and go to different rooms and just cause that level of joy. And I don't know if it comes from a place of narcissism. I'm sure that's a part of it at least.
Maybe a little bit. I think it comes from confidence and having a high self-esteem. Because like you said, being able to make being able to make fun of yourself, and not take it personally yourself, right? I think that it comes from self-esteem more than anything.
But again, like I said with my side, where I was talking about how you got wisdom through that situation of confidence. You started to realize being confident on stage, doing your jokes, it goes over a lot better, lean into it than it will when you're nervous. And then you're starting to say, okay, this is right. So you start to realize all the things that you're doing is right. And then you start to find purpose, which is your philosophical thing about spreading joy, having people smile on their faces, making sure that they forget when they come into this room, they forget what's going on out there.
Yeah.
And so that's what it's kind of, all of us like really tie into intertwined together.
And then you have some new comic who's like, I'm an edgelord, and they're gonna go up there and they're gonna literally bring up the thing that pissed off that audience member. Yeah. And then it's just gonna, oh yeah, that's going on in the world. Man, cross my arms, closed off body language.
Yeah.
I'm gonna nod at you now. You don't get laughs. Like, all right. Fine. No, but I think work ethic is something that like needs to be nurtured to,
for sure, 100%.
Like if you, and I'm not sitting there saying like, oh my God, we all got to be CrossFit models or anything like that, but I can never tell you a time where I worked out early in the morning and felt like a piece of shit.
Right, and had a bad day.
No, like literally it almost justified like anything I did, Like I was sitting there, it was like if I did something shitty, be like, I'm gonna eat a Philly cheesesteak, I did chest today.
Right, I got up at 5 and I lifted some weights, so you're right. Having that, and then I just want to add to that real quick. And then with my self-worth and the work ethic that you mentioned, I found it in my purpose, in my self-worth. Because, when I started making music, that's where I really found what work ethic was. Because we don't make money off of this, right? We don't make, we make some money, but we don't make a living off of this, right? So if you put in that work to something that you really love,
I don't know what they're talking
about. You are very fortunate, but
he's making it rain every day.
And that's where you build real work ethic. When you're actually working to build something for the long term. So that I just wanted to add on to that for sure. I agree.
Yeah. Actually, I was gonna say the same thing. I found work ethic through the same reason, because my music is something that I'm like, I need to do this. But what also got my work ethic going was my daughter.
Oh, yeah.
Because that pushes you to grow up real quick.
I can only imagine.
It's like, okay, I need more responsibility right now.
For sure.
Yeah, and, there's people out there who are like, I don't know if I can make it happen. I don't know if I can do that. And not everybody's wired to be motivational. That's another thing that you need to understand is like, did you have classmates that excelled at math? Yeah, because they were good at math. They were naturally good. Some people had to practice to be good at math, and now they're even better than those people because those people didn't care.
Right, they slacked off.
But the bottom line is, not everybody's going to learn at the same pace. It's a big ol' clump of emotions and mess out there. And so the best thing that you could do is just know that it costs $0 to not be an asshole.
Facts.
Well said.
Well said. So
Cost,
you wanna
I think-
go-
zero.
And honestly, if we all did that, we probably operated an optimal thing, but we don't live in a vacuum, and there are variables called humans.
Yes.
So the other thing is, like, just when push comes to shove, it's really hard for people who don't know and never dealt with these emotions. And we learned about it in training and stuff, and I've learned about it in school. But have you ever heard of the school to prison pipeline?
Of course.
Yeah. So the school to prison pipeline implies that if a kid has a bad behavior, right, especially minorities, and this is true, like minorities tend to get sent out of the classroom because it's harder to control what their behavior is, so they don't know what to do. So they're like, I'll send them to the principal office, right?
Okay.
What you don't know is that you're like kind of psychologically giving this kid a get out of jail free card anytime they want. So then they lose interest in school because no one's really going out of their way to try and teach them, to reach them.
So that's very much. Me and my wife talk about that
yeah.
all the damn time.
Yeah, and
it's true.
And it's huge. And this is how you know it's like, and this is the scariest fact I've ever heard about adolescence, but prisons and the building of them are based on how much academic like problems and behaviors or behaviors of kids are from the 3rd grade age. So every year it's changing based on that.
Based on 3rd graders.
Based on 3rd graders and how bad their behavior is. Like,
That's insane.
because they know that those kids will have a uphill battle to climb unless they have, someone that comes into their
Unless
life.
they have a good tribe around them, good community.
Unless they have a
Yeah.
Hagrid. They need a Hagrid. They need a Dumbledore.
So there it is, guys. We want to get your opinion. What do you guys think? What brings you self-worth? Where does your self-worth come from? Did you guys like what we had to say? Whatever you guys want to talk about, drop it in the comments below, guys. We'd love to get a conversation going. Now we're going to go ahead and hop into the next segment is Today I Learned.
Yes.
Are you familiar with the segment?
I mean, yeah, I know Today I Learned.
Okay,
Yeah.
right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through a few headlines that we see from Reddit. Today I Learned. Read the headlines. We're just going to give our reactions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we're going to take turns reading them. Joe, you want to go ahead and start it off?
Yeah, let's learn something. Today I learned they used to give out cigars for carnival prizes, hence the term close but not no cigar.
Close but no cigar. I didn't know
Close but
that.
no cigar. When you would
Were they
lose.
give them to kids?
Yeah, I was just about to, I was like, wait, what?
Were they giving children cigars?
What would-
Give them a Philly? Here you go, kiddo.
Here's this Cuban.
Here's your backwood.
Here's a Cohiba. We're gonna need you in the poker room later. Here we go in these
Honestly.
And here's
cards.
a scotch at the same time.
Honestly, he's lucky. Try your luck, right? We're on this one. Today I learned animal zoomies have a technical name: frenetic random activity periods, or FRAPs. I don't know what zoomies are. Am I out of the loop here?
No, but I also know that white women would be very, very confused by that acronym.
Why?
Fraps?
Frappuccino.
Oh,
Frappuccino.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Just go outside and look for a Starbucks.
Honestly, right? My acronym has the R out of it, but that's for another episode.
Okay, what is animal zoomies?
Yeah. What?
When like a cat freaks out at 3 in the morning, and has to run 300 miles an hour.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, so when a cat is just like
Dogs,
up and
dude,
down
we
for no
thought-
reason. Frenetic random
They're
activity
not calling
periods.
each other on webcam.
We have a big cat, and he's old, but he was moving on this certain occasion. I had like all my stuff because I was house sitting, and it was in a bag. This is now the reason why I immediately unpack all the time right when I get home,
Okay.
because it was just in a little grocery bag, and I heard him sniffing, and my eyes were closed. You know when you're like awake but your eyes are
Yeah.
closed? And I just heard like a bag rustling. I was like, oh, that's Aries. He's just messing around. And then all of a sudden I hear like it gets a little more frantic with it, and I'm like, oh, he got stuck. And then I was like, what happened? And then all of a sudden I just hear him fling soap bars into the wall. It sounds like the end of the world. He's dragging it behind him.
Oh,
It's just
God.
like it hits the cat food, the bowl of water, just the worst like Rube Goldberg ever. You know what I mean? Like the Rube Goldberg machine, just boop boop. That
Right.
kicks the
Yeah.
it kicks the thing over. Oh my God, dude! And We go outside, we're like, oh my God, like what's happening?
Right.
What happened was he got the handle of it stuck around his neck.
Oh,
So that was
started
his
freaking
form
out.
of Zoomies.
Yeah. so I was
Sorry.
doing Zoomies with
We
the
went
plastic
on a
bag.
journey for that one. I appreciate you though.
You want to go ahead and read the next one?
Oh, the real long one?
Yeah.
For the English
Hey,
teacher?
teacher.
Gosh, just giving me the test before, huh? Today I learned that NBC will become the first Big Three network to not offer a soap opera in its on-air programming on September 12, 2022, when it will send Days of Our Lives exclusively to Peacock. The show has aired nearly every weekday since November 8th, 1965, and has over 14,000 episodes that I personally watched at my granny's house.
I believe.
Damn.
It. They
Last part was not on there. That was improv, people.
they are getting greedy. Like, what? You can't take Days of Our Lives from the people. Like, come on. Like, that's since 1965, and you guys want to start charging people on Peacock now? That's insanity, NBC.
Someone just needs to flip over the hourglass so it can keep going. If you got that, you know what Days of Our Lives are.
Yes.
And if you don't, TikTok's calling your name. Get back over there.
Yeah. Honestly.
Go ahead and go to the next one. Let's see.
What do we got?
Today I learned, was it Salman? Rushdie is the only author to have won a Booker, the Booker of Bookers, and the Best of Booker Award. What?
What are these awards? He won a Booker. That's like getting the Grammy, the Grammar of Grammys.
Well, hold on. This is a false claim. Okay, so you didn't learn anything because if he's
Yeah.
the Booker of Bookers and the Best Booker Award, and he hasn't booked anybody at this table, he's wrong.
You have a point there.
He's dead
You're
wrong.
not wrong. You're not wrong. I agree with that.
I agree with that
100%.
100%.
I don't know who Salman Rushdie is though.
That's why he's not the best.
He's a very well. No, we just established.
Yeah,
he's
take
not
that.
a good Booker.
Take
so.
that, river fish, quick death.
Nice. I like that. What's the next one? Today I learned in 2018, a 34-year-old man blew a hole in his throat by holding his nose and closing his mouth while sneezing. The expulsion of air from a sneeze can propel mucus droplets at a rate of 100 miles per hour. He was given antibiotics and put on a feeding tube for 7 days and recovered with no permanent damage.
You know, the one thing that I don't like about this is I feel if people watch this episode, they're going to try some dumb shit like this.
Don't do it, guys. So I read one time that it's impossible to sneeze with your eyes open. Don't try it. I tried it. Do not sneeze with your eyes open. It felt like my eyes were going to pop out of the socket. Like, it was bad. It was a terrible experience. Don't do it. And I'm sure this guy was, like, trying something similar. He heard you can't sneeze with just your nose, or what was it? Oh, no, he did both of them.
Yep.
He did the twofer. He was trying to sneeze out of his ears. Don't do it, guys. To the wash.
He had earplugs
What
in,
they're
too.
not telling you is that this man also had a very tantric orgasm from that big of a sneeze.
It was worth it. It was worth it. The 7 days on the feeding tube was worth it.
Oh God. Ugh. Just
Is that
man,
any-
that's brutal.
That's a real eargasm.
He blew a
Yeah.
hole through his throat on something like even at that moment, because you know people have told you, right? Like even like you've heard the old urban
Right.
myths and stuff. It's like, oh, if you sneeze with your eyes open, then your eyes will pop out.
That's what I
Hey,
heard.
thanks for that information. I'm never gonna be dumb enough to try this.
I was.
Oh, my God. That's so brutal. Well, hey, listen, I'm not sitting there saying I've never done something stupid because the cinnamon challenge.
Oh, I watched too many videos to want to try that.
Yeah.
No.
Did
thank
not
you.
teach this at all. I was like, I was like, those people are weak. I can do it.
Right. But it's science.
Pride is the beginning of downfall, everybody.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
But I'm going to give this guy credit. I'm going to say he did it for science. 2018. He probably did it for a TikTok challenge, honestly. It was 2018.
He's
but
like, the ice bucket challenge ain't got nothing on me.
in the name of
pretty much-
science.
exactly.
Honestly. But
Exactly.
what's the next one?
Today I learned the verb to duck existed before the name of the animal. Originally called an enid in Old English, the waterfowl was later referred to as duck or a ducker because of how it would duck underwater for food.
Be a Ned.
Ah.
That is interesting.
And I don't care how lame Ducks can be, I still love that hockey team with all my heart.
The Mighty Ducks are
I'm a
amazing.
huge Ducks fan, baby.
I love the
Bet.
movie, right? Wasn't
Yeah.
there a kids movie
That
growing
knuckle,
up?
that knuckle pucker right there.
Yeah, that was it right there. Didn't know that though. The Ned is a duck, and I guess that's
Where they got the name from? All right.
all right.
I love
That's
how
it,
it's
guys.
a ducker.
Right.
And they're like, this sounds too foul. Let's change it.
Hey,
Let's
a
shorten
ducker.
it. Let's shorten it to duck.
oh,
All right, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and hop into an interview with our guest here, Andrew. We're just gonna ask you a few questions. Want you to open up to us, open up to the people, just get to know you a little better. So
Absolutely.
I'll go ahead and start it off. I have a question for you. What is the worst set you've ever performed, and how did it make you better, or what did you learn from it?
I mean, the worst set ever.
Yeah,
Ooh, man. And this is me or
You,
Okay,
as you
yeah.
as a
For
performer.
me, it was just like a bar gig, and it was out in the middle of nowhere.
okay.
And I called a woman a word that you should never call a woman.
Oh, there's a lot of those.
But I would say it was the worst gig because I felt really terrible after calling her that. You know.
Okay.
And that's aside from the biker gang that wanted to beat my ass that she was a part of. But yeah, that was probably the worst gig, and I learned sometimes a big laugh isn't worth
but-
3 hours of anxiety.
Okay, but you did get people to laugh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, but it was still like one of those moments I'm not proud of.
Yeah, you crossed the
Gotcha.
line.
Yeah, my mom would not be proud of her on that particular
Say, what in the
night.
world did you say?
Okay, so but that's a good lesson there, right? You said it's not worth it sometimes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, don't
respect
drink
it.
too much when you're around biker vests,
No,
because then you get
that's a
liberal
good-
with your mouth.
That's a good piece
All
of
right.
advice as well.
So my question would be, what are your hobbies outside of comedy?
Outside of comedy, I mean, like, I'm just a nerd, man. Like, I love doing.
Do you do D&D with Mike?
I do D&D. I play Dungeons and Dragons. I also play World of Warcraft, which I know is just like an automatic relationship killer. But at the same time, I've gotten more reserved about it as I've gotten older. But yeah, video games have always been a thing that I've loved doing. It's a good way to hang out with your friends that you don't get to see all
Yeah,
the time,
honestly.
and you don't have to go out. You don't have to find like a time or anything. It's just like, hey, can you hop on and play a couple of games? So
Yeah,
I
you
love
can be
that.
over there and I can be over here and we can still play.
Yeah,
Get
yeah.
our headsets in. and let's go.
Another hobby is, I like watching movies and just chilling out, doing that stuff. I like just going out and being, like a social butterfly, having a couple of beers.
That's what I was gonna ask you. You're like a social person like that.
Yeah, that's more of
Okay.
my thing. Like, my best friend had it best as a quote. He said, Andrew Boydston can walk into a bar knowing no one and leave with wedding invites.
I like that. That's dope.
Because I like talking to people. Like, as much as I like talking, I also like listening. I know my certain listening style can be like, it can rub people the wrong way. It's done that in relationships, but like, I agree with them in the middle of them talking. And
Oh.
I don't mean to interrupt. It's just like, I have to do this.
Yeah.
So like, I can mentally cue myself to keep listening. It's like,
Okay.
yeah, it's like a thing,
Uh-huh.
and I don't know how to explain it without
I
sounding
know
like
exactly
an
what you
asshole.
mean.
Right.
Yeah.
There's so many guys do that actually.
Yeah.
You go,
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
And,
Yep.
and then at the end of it, they'll be like, "What was I talking about?" Like, I'll tell them everything.
There you go.
I'm like, also, I'm not your student. What the hell are you doing?
Exactly.
I'm your friend.
Honestly.
Yeah, just take your friend's word for it.
Okay, so my next question to you is, what's the best piece of advice another comedian has ever given you?
The best advice I've ever gotten from a comedian.
Yeah, from another comedian.
Shit. I don't know.
Take your time.
There's like 2 or 3 that come to mind.
Okay, one. blurt 'em out.
Yeah, I'll just give one of them. One of them was that you've made it this far. Eventually, you just got to start knowing that you're gonna do good. You know what I
Ooh.
mean?
Okay.
Like stop wondering and start knowing. You're too far in the game to sit there and have these questions. And I also believe that if you do get nervous and stuff like that before, that's caring. But also,
That's
it's
what
like,
Ariel
I was
mentioned.
about to say that.
Yeah.
Our past guest mentioned the same thing. She was, because she's a performer, and she was saying if you get nervous before you go on,
means you care.
because you care.
yeah, you want it to go well, right? Like I'm tonight, whatever
I did that last night.
you know, going up there, and I could be nervous for a number of reasons. It's like if I'm performing in a new place, performing, you know, in front of somebody that's a really good comedian, or I'm closing out the show after someone didn't do particularly well. Whatever it is, like the nerves come and go, but
Right.
yeah, it's just how I know I care, and but yeah, like I would say it has to be just like know you're good. You know, like stop sitting there and trying to be humble with the question of, you know, like, oh, is it gonna be good? Like you're being humble, but there's a way you can be confident and humble in the same
Yes.
breath. And
Exactly.
and it's a hard balance, you know, like
Uh-huh.
it's hard to get there and find that mix, but yeah, that's
Exactly.
that's the
Nice.
thing.
That's
Like
I
dope.
like that.
Just-
I like
Yeah,
yeah.
I like that too.
that. And then, so I guess my last question would be, who is your favorite comedian, and is your style similar to that particular comedian, or is it just yeah?
So
Inspires you.
it's really funny. Like when I was growing up, Patton Oswalt was my favorite comedian, and then eventually, you know, I started falling into Daniel Tosh. I like Tosh because he was offensive and witty, and he didn't really care what the audience thought. Like
Yeah.
he had like a confidence in like. He's like, I'm saying this because I know I'm not a horrible person. I'm just saying horrible things.
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing. And so that was good, but that's how I started. And then probably about 3 months before I saw this comedian, I changed my style up to be more storytelling at the advice of a friend, because I was at a party and he just told me, like, when we were outside on the patio after a story that I told, he was like, dude, you got to do that type of stuff. Like, I like what you're doing, but like also you need to find a way to do some of these stories that you tell.
See,
And
all
so-
my favorite comedians are like ridiculously good storytellers.
Yeah. So
Like,
Patton Oswalt, right? Like with his ability to incorporate like references and go like nerdy, but also like still do all these crazy things, like with the English language. And I was like, that's really cool to me, you know. But then this comedian, Kyle Kinane, is it feels like I'm living a life that a soul was divided, because he's been kicked out of the same airport
way.
in Canada that I have, different reasons, but we both have been deported. You know, we have stories about just like kind of our downfalls and our rock bottom moments and stuff like that, and some of them just kind of line up. And
Right.
you know, there's a joke that I even got like sensitive about, because I'm like, in the joke I'm talking to a fictional dog, and then on his newest special he does that.
He does the
So
same thing.
it's not
That's
even the
insane.
same joke, it's not even the same topic,
Right.
but at the same time it's like, ooh, you know, it's like getting
that's
close.
insane.
And
That's crazy.
and I almost got to open for him at Rocket Shop Cafe back in the day. And
Nice.
then I had a friend who had a wedding, and I knew he wouldn't forgive me if I missed that, so I had to, you know, go with the friend. And this is kind of like how you were talking about manifesting and stuff. I knew that in my heart of hearts that I'd be good enough to one day get that opportunity again.
Yes.
And so
That's amazing, having that confidence and that faith.
yeah, and it took a
Exactly.
while, right? It took a
Exactly.
while, but December 1st this year at the Well, I will be opening for Kyle Kinane for both
There it
shows.
is, guys.
So-
December 1st. I kind
That's
of
a
want
neat
to
little
go
bow,
now.
huh?
I've never heard of this guy, so I kind of want to go just
Yeah.
just to see him, just to watch you and to watch him.
He's okay. If you're into comedy, you probably know who he is. If you're not, you probably know him like just by his Comedy Central voiceovers that he did.
Probably.
Like
Probably.
coming to Comedy Central at South Park, like
Yeah.
that guy.
Oh, that's him?
Yeah, that's him.
Oh, no way.
But his stand up is second to none. He is a virtuoso of the art form, and he does it so effortlessly. And he's, from what I hear, he's the nicest guy on earth. So
gonna have to check
I
that
just
out.
can't
Oh,
wait.
yeah.
And
Yeah, you said
everybody
December-
needs to
December
know
1st,
who
December
Kyle
1st.
Kinane is. check him out on YouTube. He just let out his whole special for free,
Nice.
Trampoline in a Ditch, and it's hilarious.
Nice. I'm gonna look that up for sure.
I'll plug that. Also, do I plug everything else yet?
No. So yeah.
Okay, sorry.
We'll go ahead and transition. Joe, you
So
wanna
we're
take
gonna
it?
go.
I'm jumping the gun, guys.
It's all good. It's all good. So we're going into the next segment. It's called Creative of the Week. So as you guys now know that we actually bring our creatives of the week as guests. So Andrew Boydston has the stand-up clip that we're going to watch, and we want to know what you guys think. If he did the damn thing, put your comments down below, and we're gonna watch it right now. So go ahead and Jesse, let's do it.
Hey, how's it going, Rocket Shop? Kinda weak. I'm still gonna go for it though, alright? I'm a person who appreciates any opportunity he gets. Whenever I get a one-night stand, it's like getting called up from the minors. I'm just like, I'm happy to be here. Really grateful for this opportunity. The coach sees a lot of energy in me, and that's what I'm gonna provide for my line mates. We're just gonna go out there and play our game and just see how it translates, you know? That's what I do, yeah. This is fun, right? Yeah, wouldn't you love to bet this? Yeah, now wouldn't you? Bring it on over here, young Benjamin Franklin. It's kind of hurtful when you laugh more than 5 seconds. I gotta be honest. All right, roll with it. You got a kind of string and a key. I got a bar tab and a dream, so let's make it happen. Yeah. It's fun looking like this. This is the Julius Pleaser, right? It's either, otherwise, if I put it forward, like a mullet is my best fucking move, because otherwise it's like, what are you, the mad scientist in the world-ending movie? Maybe the abusive high school music teacher? Just walking by, just rapping their knuckles while they play saxophone, fucking up notes, right? Like, tempo, 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 damn it, Marcy! I told my friend I was growing out my hair to donate it to Locks of Love. He's a stoner, so mid-bong rip, he just went, like your beard? What did you just say we're gonna put on a kid? You're telling me that that's the victory wig for a kid who fucking, like, curb stomps leukemia? That's what we're gonna go with? Yeah, here it is, Timmy. It's the texture of deadbeat cheetah pet. Oh, and look, and it comes in the color Calico Cat. That's fun. Interesting stuff, yeah. Why does it smell like Diablo Taco Bell sauce, IPAs, and weed, Mom? It's okay. I don't have kids, but I do. I'm starting to get like dad taste buds at 30. Does anyone know what that is? It's like where blue cheese makes sense and you're like disgusted with yourself that first fucking week. Like, it's like originally I was like, blue cheese is the most disgusting stuff ever. Now I'm like, what does it taste like? Kind of foot and it's chalky? Fuck it, put it on my Western cheeseburger. Let's take these flavored fucking savors to a ride, right? Yeah. That's also I'm into hot sauce, but because of like how wide I am, that's kinky. To the taco trucks that I order from, they just like raise their eyebrows like, you sure? It's like, yes, give me the good shit, yeah. I want to look like I'm getting interrogated after my family died and I'm murder suspect number 1. Bring it up. I like hot sauce, but I like habanero. Habanero is like where it starts to get like fuck you, you know? Like you just kind of, it's like the hot sauce kind of giving the middle finger, like making a racial slur to your taste buds. You're like, oh, we gotta deal with that, okay, yeah. Yeah, I love habanero. Habanero, like if I had to equate it to like sex, it's like when leather starts getting involved. Yeah, you're gonna need a safe word with habanero, right? You don't know what she's capable of. She's gonna spit in your mouth, make your ass hurt the next day. All right? Habanero's a tricky bitch. Well, I feel like we've built a bond, so now I can be honest with myself, open up to you. I'm a substitute teacher. That's right. That's right. Forming the young minds of America. That's right. Not just on Civil War reenactment day, they pay me. Like, I'm there. I'm in the house. It's one thing, I love teaching and all that stuff, but I hate the lies that you decide to put on the back of your fucking cars. Those damn bumper stickers. Every day I have to look at this parade of self-important bullshit where you're just like loving the fact that you got tackled unwrapped while you were drunk one night. You're like, Connor's a grade A student. He is. You see that? Yeah, you see that sticker? It says #1 in the spelling bee for Who Gives a Fuck Elementary. And I'm like, we're in 6th grade. Connor's fucking it up now. Getting back on the rails. I think that's a little braggy though, if you put like a bumper sticker on there, right? Do you guys? A little bit? It's kind of like Babe Ruthing it with your dick, you know? Like pointing to the fences like, this one's gonna be a real winner. I can feel it. After baby number 3, I think we got it, baby. Here we go. Roll that dice. But I think if you want to do that, that's fine, but you should have to update us. What little baby son of a bitch is up to nowadays. Wouldn't that be fun to see a bumper sticker? Like, one side it would be real annoying, right? It'd be like, Richard III went to Mensa, and he's a rocket scientist for NASA. Like, yeah, well, what's on the other side? It's like a gray sticker, it's kind of scratched off. It's like, Tommy picked up heroin. He's not doing as good as Richard. Or our precious baby angel Victoria is on the pole by night. But by day she's a single mom and a nursing student, right? She's getting it right. Or how about this one? Our son's throwing away his college degree so he can make dick jokes to strangers drunk on a stage at Rocket Shop Cafe.
Thank you.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
All right, we back.
Nice. We
No,
are
yeah, like
back.
I was saying, I was sharing with him while we were muted. I really liked his cadence, his delivery. It was like, it was going. Like, it was really professional. I really appreciate it. It was nice.
This is great for the self-worth.
No, there it is.
See?
Right. That self-worth is that ego. No,
Andrew Boydston, you are awesome. I just gotta tell you that.
yeah.
Dude, thank you,
but
man.
yeah,
It means
but-
a lot to me because you've seen me like
Yes, I have.
at a pretty, you know, it wasn't infantile stage of doing comedy, but it was, you know, in the early going in
ages of
Bakersfield.
Yeah. That was like right when my cousin Michael actually moved over here and met you, and I went to one of his very first things at the Rocket Shop,
Yeah.
and
You know,
yeah.
he was like in the audience first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for a while.
long time.
And then he like showed up out of nowhere and everybody like didn't recognize him like hardly. And I was like, this guy looks so familiar. Why not? Because he like left. He was going and then he like left. I think he was in Alaska or something.
Yeah.
And then he came back and started doing comedy. And now me and him are like best friends.
Exactly.
So it's
That's
awesome.
Yeah,
That's
and they
amazing.
both do
Yeah.
amazing stand-up.
They're both
I
good.
think he did the damn thing. I can't wait. Well, we already had Mike in this spot too,
Yeah.
and we watched his stand-up. So
It was good, too.
It was really good.
His new stuff is killer.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you get to see Michael Scott at the Well or Timber, take that opportunity. It's great.
Yes.
Facts.
And December 1st at the Well, right?
Yeah,
Gonna-
for
go ahead.
Kyle Kinane. Yeah, that's going to be on a Thursday. So, you know, just get a sitter lined up, whatever you got to do. Get that day off or scheduling conflict, whatever you got to do. But yeah,
Yeah.
also promo.
Yeah,
go
yeah.
ahead,
Okay.
go ahead. Let
Yeah,
them know where they
tonight,
can find you.
if you want to come out, I will be at the Well for the Sweatpants Sessions. It's the last one of the summer. Come out before I, go insane over teaching your kids English. And then also this next Friday, August 19th, I am going to be at the Well Comedy Club producing my own show, Barstool Prophecies Presents, Kat Alvarado. I also have Isaac Allen coming from LA. That's going to be a great show. Doing big things there. And other than that, just go and support local comedy.
Yes.
Go out to the Well Comedy Club. It is the only comedy club between Ventura and Sacramento. So we
way.
have it
I didn't
in
know
our
that.
own backyard. Dan Betts is doing great things. The comedy community is hilarious night in and night
I
out.
just heard that they're starting to do music shows there again.
Yes, yeah. So you might see like some variety type of like comedy and music collaborations in the future. It all depends on what people are doing that night. But it's a great time and come out. We built something very special. We want you to be a part of it. It takes a village, as we said earlier.
Yes.
And you can see Sunday night open mic usually, not tonight. Obviously, there's that show, but hosted by Bad Neighbors, Anthony Howdigy, and Julian Nieto. That is 5 o'clock doors, 6 o'clock showtime. Then you have Tuesdays with David Wells, Please Be Funny, out at the Well Comedy Club. That is 6 p.m. doors, 7 p.m. showtime. Also the flagship night, which is on Thursdays, hosted by the man himself, Daniel Betts. And you can catch that at 7 p.m. showtime. And then don't forget, longest running open mic in Bakersfield, Timber, held down by Joe Alanese, who will also be on the show tonight. And that is on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. doors, 7 p.m. showtime. Holy crap, I got through that.
There it is. And then, of course, you can follow him right here down below on Instagram.
The Funny Boydston.
Yeah,
Funny
I'm on
Boydston.
Instagram.
Follow
Yep.
him down there, guys. And anything you guys want to share with us, drop it in the comments below. Do you think my man's was funny? Did he do the damn thing or not?
Yes,
you guys
sir.
want to talk about your self-worth, whatever it is, guys. Drop the comments below. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. And we'll see you guys next week. Until then, we're out.
Deuces.
Well, we keep going cause the party don't stop. We turn up, doing our thing, just living our lives, and we don't stop. Open mind group so you know we won't flop. We on top, come to the party, you don't want